G'day, my name's Quentin Long. I'm the co-founder of Australian Traveller Media. I've been asked to speak to you today by the Tourism Authority of Thailand about some trends for Australian and New Zealand travellers. I suppose the first question, are travellers going to bounce straight back into travel? Are they going to start booking straight away? And like anything in travel, it's really hard to say with any great certainty, but this is my sort of perspective. I think you'll find that travellers generally will come back to travel, and there'll be two major groups. And the first group are the early adopters who are very confident and start putting money down, and then they're the more cautionary laggards. In terms of destinations, our research is showing that the intention of travellers is to really go remote or bush and get far away and really start discovering places. So at this point in time in the domestic space, we're looking at places like Tasmania, the Kimberley, Central Australia, tropical North Queensland, as sort of the destinations that are sort of are being favoured. What this does fly in the face of what we all feel is probably going to happen, which is the drive market's going to be the real V bounce as opposed to the longer term U bounce. My personal opinion is that you'll see a combination of both, and travellers really will sort of come back to travel quite strongly. I do expect the industry will put out a lot of demand-based pricing to stimulate that demand, and you'll see some great bargains and prices out there. I think the expectations of customers will have changed a bit as well in terms of the sorts of things they're looking for. We're very aware that the conscious traveller movement, and something that we're supporting as an organisation, in that people want to know how this, or how am I, in the way I spend my money, going to benefit communities, benefit the environment, and benefit the overall Australian economy. And I think those things are pretty foremost in the Australian consumer's mind. In terms of their response to the travel industry, I think the travel industry really has to have a very long, hard look at what it has and has not achieved through the COVID experience. I think there's been a lot of disappointment around how the travel industry has responded to my needs as a customer who's handed over cash and now doesn't have that experience. And so I think that we need to do some trust building with consumers and really demonstrate it, walk the walk, not just talk the talk, in terms of being customer-facing organisations. Finally, my opinion on how this will roll out, I think it's pretty universally accepted that we will have in a domestic environment, first and foremost, an intrastate drive-led recovery, and that will be then led more by an interstate, and that has to be led by aviation. The good news, obviously, is that recently Alan Joyce has come out with some very positive statements around what Qantas and Jetstar will be doing for demand stimulation, but also in being very customer-facing in the way they allow customers to use their credits. I think that pretty much covers everything I've got to say. I'm more than happy to take emails, or you can contact me through Australian Traveller Media. My email address is qlong@australiantraveller.com, or my social media handles is usually Q Travels. So hopefully you're health and safe and really looking after your customers. Thanks very much.
สำหรับวันนี้นะคะเราก็ได้รับทราบข้อคิดหรือข้อคิดเห็นดีๆนะคะจากคุณเควินตินลองนะคะซึ่งเป็นสื่อทางด้านการท่องเที่ยวแล้วก็เป็นผู้ร่วมก่อตั้ง Australian Traveller และ International Traveller นะคะก็ได้ให้ความเห็นว่าขณะนี้คนส่วนใหญ่ยังลังเลที่จะเดินทางอันเนื่องมาจากความเสี่ยงด้านสุขภาพนะคะที่เกิดจากการระบาดของโควิด -19 เพราะฉะนั้นระหว่างนี้พวกเราซึ่งเป็นฝั่งซัพพลายเนี่ยจะต้องสร้างความมั่นใจในการเดินทางว่ามีความปลอดภัยแล้วก็อาจจะต้องคำนึงถึงเรื่องของการประกันภัยการเดินทางด้วยนะคะแล้วก็อีกเรื่องหนึ่งที่สำคัญก็คือชาวออสเตรเลียและนิวซีแลนด์เนี่ยให้ความใส่ใจในเรื่องของผลกระทบต่อชุมชนต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมแล้วก็ต่อระบบนิเวศที่เกิดจากการท่องเที่ยวสวัสดีค่ะ